Hi folks and welcome back to the channel. So I thought I'd make another little video today about another topic that I saw in the news recently, and it's the London resort, the idea that we have like to basically build like a UK version of like something like Disneyland in Florida. I've never been to Disneyland in Florida, but it sounds very similar. So you're gonna have different areas. So there'll be like the Harry Potter area, and then there'll be like the pirate area, and then there'll be like the jungle area, and there'll be different areas to it. And the one I'd probably be most interested in that they've put forward is they're going to be like a sort of futuristic area as well, like to do with science and technology and space travel and different sci-fi themed stuff and that. And I think that sounds really cool. But so it was in the news recently because they're actually like opening the floor to the public to basically submit ideas for what they would like to see and what they would like to get out of this theme park. Um, and the thing that caught my eye was like some of the concept art, like had stuff like airships and passenger carrying drones and stuff like that. I saw photos, concept art photos, and it had stuff like that in it. And I'm a bit of an aviation geek, so it's kind of the first thing that draws my eye. Although I think, to be fair, like it does stand out quite a bit. So like I imagine like most people probably noticed it. But they're really framing it as this kind of like next generation place. Like like they're gonna have virtual reality, augmented reality. Though they're talked about like there's going to be like an esports area as well. So it's really going to emphasize this idea that it's going to use all of the latest technology. Um, they've also emphasized the idea that like they're gonna they're gonna be a bit more conscious of like the environment when they're building this thing, and there's gonna be a lot of kind of like green space around it. And you can definitely see that as well with the actual concept art that they have. Like there is a lot of kind of like greenery in that in the concept art. Um, Now the last time I actually saw this topic brought up was probably nearly a year ago when I saw an article about it on Facebook. And when I read the comments section in that article, like a lot of people are actually like quite cynical about the idea. Like, they're asking like, isn't there better things to spend money on? Could we not be spending that money on something else? Basically like various kind of ways of saying like this is a waste of time, this is a waste of money. We should be focusing on bigger priorities. And I mean, certainly like the way 2020 is, like, you can definitely understand why people would think like maybe we've got bigger problems just now, bigger fish to fry, so to speak. But like I actually think, to get my opinion out of the way, like I actually think this is something that the UK sorely needs. I think this sounds like an amazing idea. I don't just say that because this sounds like I've often thought actually about what a futuristic theme park would look like, and I have actually thought like, there would be like the passenger carrying drones and like the airships and stuff like that, and there'll be a lot of new technology like implemented into stuff like that. And I imagine there'll probably be like self-driving buses and cars and stuff like that ferrying people around from like one part of the resort to another. And you know like all of that sounds amazing, it sounds really cool. But I think the thing that some people might be missing is like the inspirational quality that that sort of place could have. Like if you've got this big theme park and it's heavily centered around science and technology, then when kids or even young adults go to a place like that, it's gonna like be massively inspirational, hopefully. And that's how you get more people interested in science and technology. Like you get more people interested in science and technology with big projects like this. Um, like something like a lot of people like there's a similar thing with like space stuff. So like people question why like we do stuff like the Apollo program or stuff like, sending rovers to Mars or whatever. Like, but what people don't realize is like that sort of thing, like the idea that we sent people to the moon, like that inspired so many people later on to get like careers in science and technology because they wanted to be a part of something like that. Like they thought it was really cool, like, and so ultimately they reckon that for every dollar that was spent in the Apollo program, about they made about $14 back, and the economic output of all of the different like technologies that they had to come up with to make that sort of thing happen, and also in the fact that they inspired so many people to later on down the line get careers in science and technology. So I'm kind of heavily pushing like the science and technology aspect of the theme park. As I says, the other areas will be there, but I think like stuff like the science and technology in this particular theme park, I think is going to play a big part in this, um, because like you've already got like Disneyland and the other places that have got the kind of themed stuff, and I think that will be a big part of it, and I think it will be really cool. Like I'll be really interested to go along and see that as well. But I think the thing that really caught my eye was how much there's going to be an emphasis on like technology and science and green spaces, and they're going to try and make it as like low emissions and like have as little effect in the surrounding environment as possible, which again I think is really cool. And they're also going to have green spaces around it, so there's a lot of studies now like saying that you know being exposed to nature and actually like exercising outdoors is actually really good for mental health as well as physical well-being. So if they could promote that aspect of it, I think that would be really cool. But I think overall this just seems like a really cool big idea, and I just really hope that people's cynicism to the idea of this being like a waste of money, or you know something that the money could maybe be better spent in something else, like, I just really hope that that doesn't kill this idea, because I think it sounds really cool. So that's like a basic overview of what's happening here. I probably will talk about it more in other videos, so but that's like a basic overview. I'll put a link in the description to the London resort and maybe a couple of the news articles discussing it, so you can have a look for yourself. But overall, my opinion on this, really cool idea. Um, I don't support big projects just for the sake of big projects, but the amount of jobs this will bring, the amount of innovation, the amount of exciting technology that we'll get to see at this thing, I think I think there's massive benefits to doing something like this. So yeah, as I says, I'll probably discuss it more in the future, but that's kind of my thoughts just now. We'll see how things go, and I'm excited to see like basically what comes out of it. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. If you liked the video, then like it. If you hated the video, then dislike. If you want to subscribe, then just hit the subscribe button. If you want to see more of my content, that would be great. So, bye, folks.